It seems that this last administration has been not very kind to small business. How do you guys differ yourself from what's happening this year?
The governor's got to be totally user-friendly to small business. That's it.
You know, earlier I described some of the things that are going to be economic engines, but it's the diversification of our economic base. We need to find as many opportunities to help support small businesses, because in the end, they're going to be what's going to help make this county become viable.
I concur with that, but I also believe in opportunities for home-based businesses, and I also believe that individual people need to have all the opportunity and creativity, personal creativity, to be able to go into business.
I'm on trial separation for my third wife, and so I'm probably going to need you guys soon. I will definitely lighten up regulations, and I believe in small businesses.
Like I said, I've been here since 1972. I've seen a lot of businesses start on Front Street. There was hardly anything, a few dive shops and a few trinket stores, and then all the art galleries came, a lot of new businesses, and all of a sudden these visitor information booths would pop up, and that was good. But I've seen other businesses that I was involved in with a limousine business, and the man operated out of his house. But he totally monopolized the parking, traffic, and we have to remember home businesses are supposed to be small and not interfere. I've seen them grow. And like the limousine business he's got to place up that's a Cockle executive. He found a space up in the industrial area, and he had to move out of there. But I'm for small businesses, but we also have to look at people in the neighborhood. I live in a neighborhood where I'll just say there's businesses, and they're growing, and it's spoiling. The trash is blowing down the street. So there has to be some, and the county does come in and will enforce the laws. Business you can start in your house, your garage, but you got to go. Okay, remember, small business is small, not too many people running cars and trucks and buses and vans all over the place.
I'll make it quick. My wife and mother and I, we operate a licensed bed and breakfast, so that should be real clear where we stand on small business, especially that part of the industry. There are only two vehicles for the county to regulate and affect small business. There's permitting and zoning. And I would like to submit to you there's only one mayoral candidate with a proven record of dramatically streamlining county operations, saving taxpayer money, improving public service and public servant morale. That's me. I can explain that to you later if you want to hear about that. But we need to transform permitting. I have a proven record of being able to streamline operations dramatically, focus on public service. I think we all agree on that. And the zoning context needs to be changed from a laundry list of what the county will let you do to the reverse of that, where we regulate the impacts, like Mr. Miller was saying, and allow businesses to flourish in all areas as necessary. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Nectra Halpern, and I am a candidate for State House, so the state corollary to the county. So the question was just asked about home business or small business, and I wanted to kind of drill it down. Basically, since the legislature, i.e. the council, makes the laws and the mayor only enforces the laws, so far there has not been a home business ordinance. That's been discussed for many, many years that the council will make one, but it hasn't made one yet. So the mayor is in the position of having to enforce or not enforce the law that currently stands, which is home businesses are pretty much not allowed. And there's been a lot of, I've heard a lot of people feeling that the enforcement has also been selective, that it's not been across the board, it's just been very selective. So as mayor, even though the council isn't going to, in the next couple of months, make a home business ordinance, what will you do about home businesses? Because I know many people who are losing their homes, losing everything about little technicalities. So how can you do that? Because the ordinance will probably be not made in the next couple of months.
You're asking specifically?
That is for each person.
Again,
please
gentlemen,
answer.
just kind of please blow through it.
I'll be the boss. If I tell people to lighten up on the home businesses, they're gonna lighten up. The only thing there is, if you're disturbing your neighborhood, you don't get to do it. I don't wanna hear skill saws all day long, people making a factory next door, or having 100 cars out front. That part I will monitor, and if you're good in your neighborhood, you get to do it. We have to have it.
You know, the perception that only the legislative branch of government can create directions is not necessarily true. The mayor has the ability to make suggestions. The mayor has the ability to meet with constituents. The mayor has the ability to take some of those ideas and become an advocate for that. And the mayor does have the ability to suggest implementation or consideration of laws. So as mayor, that's what I would do, is sit down with the people, get a good sense of where they would like to have participation and regulations, and you know, at the same time, encourage them to be part of the solution in creating these new regulations, because at the very end, what you hope you will not get is something that you have never even thought of or planned to have in terms of law. So I would work with the people to get their ideas and encourage them to be a part of the solution themselves.
You know, the home occupation bill, there is a definition of home occupation, was passed in 2009. It's interesting, it's 9 points, the first 6 points, the biggest word is no. What the council is looking at now is a way to refine it so that it's more positive and friendly bill. But there is a home occupation bill, okay? And it does basically guard against, you know, home mechanic operations and so on. So a lot of the impacts that people would fear, you know, are taken care of in the bill. One other thing I would like to say, I am for home occupation. I have a daughter-in-law who actually was from Germany. She lives here in Hawaii. She's an American. But she was working for a power company over the internet from Haiku, her cottage, the guest cottage that they lived in, for a power company that monitors the power grid in Germany. So, I mean, the opportunities of the home occupation are just endless. And I think that as mayor, we need to be open to them. And one other thing I would like to say, Mr. Hodges said that he is the one candidate. I will say there are two. I spent 20 years in government, in the planning department, expediting permits for the people of Maui County. Check the record.
I ran a management consulting business out of my home in Maui. We had another, and that was a single guy on a computer at my home. There was a guy in New York, a guy in Silicon Valley, a guy in Los Angeles. That is one form of home business. We actually take credit for helping the space station get up to space on time. It was a group of 300 hardware and software engineers, mostly in Houston, Texas, and we taught them and consulted to them on terms of how to do that efficiently. Again, to do that from a home business, I think makes perfect sense. I wasn't bothering anybody, and you know, it's a great thing that we live in the computer and internet age. You can be pretty much anywhere on the planet through your computer.
Yeah.